Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be ranking the Arkham games from worst to best. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Okay, so for this list, I will not be including Arkham Shadow or Arkham VR. I have not played them, so I don't think it's fair for me to rank them. I'm sorry if those are your favorite. I will also be including Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, because technically it's an Arkham game. I don't consider it to be canon, but apparently the devs do, so whatever. Also, if my opinions cause you to have some sort of violent, visceral reaction, that's fine. We can disagree, you know? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, but let's keep it civil. We're all friends here. Okay, so Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is in last place, obviously. Duh. Like, I don't think it's the worst game ever made, but it's really hard for me to find things to like about it when the game forces me to shoot Batman in the head on a park bench. Again, it's not the worst game ever made, but it's not technically an Arkham game. It doesn't follow that format. Technically, it's in the same universe, but it's not the same. Now, despite the ridiculous premise, I feel like there was a decent game buried, and I mean buried deep underneath what we got. I mean, all the live service crap, the repetitive mission structure, the loot, the microtransactions, all of it. Like, it doesn't feel like they were focused on the game feeling like a game. They were focused on making it fit into a business model, and that's just ridiculous. Now, I don't think that this game is terrible in the way that the internet sometimes acts like it is. It has pretty good voice acting, it has moments of strong writing, the traversal mechanics are actually really fun. Like flying around as Deadshot or zipping across rooftops as Harley feels really smooth. But the problem is, this isn't an Arkham game. This isn't what we asked for, and that matters. When you sit down to play an Arkham game, like, you have expectations. You are expecting a certain type of experience, and that is usually a third-person action-adventure game that is just solely focused on the story and the gameplay. Instead, this game leans fully into the live service shooter territory. Gear scores, color-coded loot, repetitive objective structures, defend this point for 3 minutes, waves, infinite waves of bullet sponges. It's just so bland. It just doesn't feel like it's designed for immersion. It's designed to be good enough and give you an excuse to buy stuff, you know? Alright, next up, at number 4, we have Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, okay, put the torches down. Arkham Asylum is one of the most important superhero games ever made. Before this game came out, licensed superhero games were just really rough. I mean, most of them were movie tie-in games, and, you know, with a few exceptions, none of them were really that good. This game changed everything, though. You know, it proved that you could really make superhero games something special. And the atmosphere in this game is just unreal. The gothic architecture, the tight corridors, the creepy medical facility, the fact that you're trapped on an island with every major Batman villain is just such a strong concept. It was so cool. This game really feels like you're playing a graphic novel. It feels claustrophobic, intimate, and personal. And I mean, the Scarecrow sequences, they're just still iconic to this day. The way it breaks the fourth wall and the game glitches out and it makes you think that you broke your frickin' Xbox, like, insane, you know? Like, that was just next level at the time. But the reason why it falls a little bit lower on my ranking is because when I play it now, I feel the limitation, you know? It aged well, but you can still feel its age. You know, the combat is still really good, revolutionary for the time, but it's clearly the first iteration. Fewer gadgets, fewer combat options, less variety in enemy types. It's just really limited. And I mean, let's be honest about the boss fights. For the most part, you're just fighting different versions of Titan goons, you know? Like, the Poison Ivy one was different, but I mean, Titan Joker, Bane, all of the different Titan boss fights. I mean, even Killer Croc was pretty much the same thing as a Titan boss fight. You're just kind of running away and waiting for a chance to throw a Batarang. That's it. Despite these limitations and these flaws, this game still demands respect. It built the foundation, and so I can't really hate on it too much, because it still is a good game. I'm not saying that this is a bad game by any means, but compared to what came after, it's smaller in scope, smaller in ambition, and that's not a bad thing. It's just why this one lands at number 4 for me. Moving on. Alright, next up, at number 3, I have Arkham City. Now, I know I'm heading into dangerous territory because for a lot of people, Arkham City is number 1, and I completely understand that. Now, the technical leap from Asylum to City was just insane. Going from a contained island to an open section of Gotham was just a crazy, crazy improvement. Suddenly you're gliding across rooftops, diving between buildings, chasing side missions across multiple districts. Those are things that we could never even dream of doing in Asylum. The game felt really big. There was a lot to do. I do think that some of the side missions were a little lacking, but for the most part, a lot of the content was just so good. I mean, most of the boss fights were pretty good, but that Mr. Freeze boss fight was a huge standout. And yeah, while, there's not really a lot to it anymore, replaying it, you kind of know all the tricks and stuff. Playing that boss fight for the first time as a kid was just terrifying, Like, I was just hiding in a corner the whole time. I was so scared.
I can evolve my strangers. And you?
Now, this game definitely is the most ambitious when it comes to the story. I mean, they killed off the Joker. That's something that the comics could never do, and they refuse to this day. But, the story can sometimes feel really cluttered and all over the place, and, there's too many twists. It's kind of ridiculous, and there's not really a main villain. There's like 3, because technically it's Hugo Strange, but he was actually, taking orders from Ra's al Ghul, and then, Joker is technically the final villain that you encounter at the end of the game, but he's using Clayface, and Clayface is the final boss, and so it's kind of all over the place. It's a lot. But don't get me wrong, I love this game. Like, this is probably the Arkham game that I played the most as a kid, so if anything, I should have the most bias and nostalgia towards this game. But, looking back, I'm really trying to be objective, and it just is one of the weaker titles compared to what the other 2 games on this list have to offer. I know that Asylum and City are considered to be the best, but I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, Origins truthers, stand up, because at number 2 we have Arkham Origins. This game was done so dirty at launch for no reason. People dismissed it right away because it wasn't made by Rocksteady. They called it a reskin of Arkham City. I just don't get it, This game has so much to love about it. Now, yes, this game did have bugs at launch, but so did Arkham Knight. City had a few bugs, and there are plenty of games that are considered to be masterpieces in retrospect, even though they had terrible launches like No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk. You know what I'm talking about. But seriously, replaying this game right now, this game cooks so hard. First of all, the Christmas setting is just elite. I love Gotham at Christmas time. It's just such a cool aesthetic. Snow falling over the dark rooftops, holiday lights glowing in the distance. It really just gives this game such a unique identity. Like, it's just so cool. Then you have the boss fights. This game has arguably the best lineup of boss fights in the entire franchise. Deathstroke alone is legendary. I think it's a little overrated because, it's just timed button pressing, but a lot of the other boss fights are just crazy. The Firefly boss fights, one of my favorite in the series. Like, both of Bane's boss fights are crazy, especially that last one, like the TN one. It just felt like a slightly more intense Mr. Freeze boss fight, and there was also a timer on it, which is way more stressful. Alright, now I might get a little bit of flack for this, but I feel like Bruce as a character in Asylum and City is very boring, There's not a lot going on with him. He doesn't change throughout those games at all. Like, he's too stoic. He's just boring, The story's just kind of happening around Batman and not to him. Like, I understand at City there's all that stuff with him and Talia, but even that felt a little stale and kind of stiff. Like, it didn't really work for me. But Bruce's character in this game is just so good, way more compelling. Like, he's actually a dynamic character that has a character arc that, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This game is definitely the most character-focused Arkham game. We get to see a younger, angrier Bruce. He's less refined as a crime fighter, he's more brutal, and the dynamic with Alfred is just really emotional. It's so good, so well written. I love every single scene with him and Alfred interacting. Like, they feel like real people that are having, these interpersonal conflicts, and they would disagree about stuff. Alfred's not just some kind of yes man that Batman talks to over the phone that agrees with everything he says. Alfred deeply cares about Bruce and wants the best for him, and sometimes he doesn't agree with the fact that Bruce, goes out in the middle of the night dressed as a bat, beating up criminals, There are gonna be those kind of disagreements, and I feel like ignoring that dynamic between them is a huge disservice to the character, and this game handles that dynamic so well. We get to see a version of Bruce who is growing as a person and is learning that he can't be a one-man army. He needs to let people in, he needs allies, he needs to let Alfred help him. It's just really nice to see. This Batman is learning to be a symbol instead of just a crime-fighting vigilante, Now, when it comes to the Joker portion of this game's story, yeah, I get it. People were disappointed that Black Mask was replaced by the Joker, but This game has one of the best origins for Batman and Joker's relationship that I have ever seen, you know? Like, in some of the other interpretations of Batman, I never understood why the Joker was so obsessed with him. With this game, I get it. Because, I mean, at the beginning of the game, the Joker does not care who Batman is at all. He just sees him as some obstacle that's in his way. That's why he announces the bounty. He sends all of the assassins after him. But after Batman goes out of his way and risks his own life to save the Joker's confused. He's like, okay, I am this guy's enemy. Why did he just save me? Like, what is wrong in his mind that makes him go out of his way to protect my life?
Now why would you do that? Newsflash, I'm the one who's trying to kill you.
It's just so much more interesting. And so after that encounter at the Royal Hotel, the Joker becomes so infatuated with Batman that it arguably makes him even more insane. Like, the Joker was already insane, but he was just doing basic criminal stuff, you know, robbing banks, blowing up buildings, killing people, but, you know, he wasn't motivated by this obsession until this point.
The Bat, the partner. My partner?
Who else would jump off a building to save your sorry ass?
You know, officer. I was wondering the same thing myself.
I just think this game explores that concept so well. It is so interesting, and they do it way better than a lot of other Batman interpretations. I really feel like a lot of other pieces of Batman media fail to explain the relationship between Batman and the Joker, and they just expect us to understand it. You know, they're like, oh, they're two sides of the same coin, but like, they don't go into it. You know, in The Dark Knight, in the interrogation scene, when Joker's like, oh, you complete me, there is no me without you. I don't believe that for a second, because they don't explain it. They just expect us to understand the foundations of their relationship. It's so stupid. Overall, I just think that this game is a masterpiece. Yes, the map is half reused. Yes, there were bugs at launch. Yes, this wasn't made by Rocksteady, but this game does so many things right. This is one of the best Batman stories ever written, in my opinion, and I mean, they fixed Bane. In Arkham Asylum, he was just some mindless, dumb brute, more akin to like Batman and Robin. That's not what Bane is supposed to be, and this game just really gives us a badass Bane. Like, he's so cool and so intimidating. So yeah, despite this game's many flaws, I still love it. It's actually trying to say something. All right, at number 1, we have Arkham Knight. Now, this has nothing to do with the story. That is not a factor in my placement at all. I know that might be a stupid thing for me to do, but it's all because of the gameplay. This game's gameplay is just ridiculous. It's on another level. Also, the graphics are crazy. They're still crazy to this day. The graphics look better than most modern games, which is just insane to me. I just don't understand why game developers feel the need to only focus on the graphics nowadays. They always have to upgrade, make things look better, make it look more realistic. That doesn't really matter as much as the gameplay, you know? And when you focus too much on the graphics and not enough on the gameplay, you're just pumping out just like half-baked pieces of garbage that aren't fun to play at all. Like, I don't care if the game is nice to look at. If it's not fun to play, I'm not touching it. I mean, just look at this. This game is so beautiful, and it's been over a decade. That is just crazy to me. All right, now back to the gameplay. The traversal in this game is just unmatched. Gliding feels way smoother. The grapnel boosts are crazy. Like, it looks like Batman should be dislocating his shoulder every time he launches off of a rooftop. It just feels fast, and it's so satisfying. Now, when it comes to the Batmobile, I actually like it. I know that might be a little controversial. I know it's a tank. I don't like that it's a tank. There are too many tank battles, and they implement it into too many of the game's core gameplay mechanics. But like, if you designed a Batmobile that handled this well, wouldn't you want to use it as much as possible too? But I mean, come on. Like, despite its flaws, the Batmobile is just so cool. Driving through Gotham at full speed, ejecting into the sky, you know, chaining all of that movement into combat. It really makes you feel unstoppable, you know? Almost like you're actually Batman. And the combat system, it is at its peak here. The fluidity, the variety, the dual team takedowns, the fear multi-takedown, the quick draw gadgets, it's all so good. This is definitely the most mechanically polished Arkham game, and it's the most fun in my opinion for replays just because of how good the gameplay is. Now, yeah, the story does suck. It's definitely the worst of the series in my opinion. I don't like the whole Joker virus thing. The only way that I can kind of make it make sense in my head is if it's not an actual disease and it's kind of Batman's fears taking over. That's a little better, but it's still just kind of a lame story beat. Obviously, the Arkham Knight identity reveal was lame. They should have just made him Red Hood, but instead they had to pretend like it was some original character and like, oh, it's not Jason Todd, we promise. That was lame. And honestly, I feel like they should have done the whole Bruce Wayne Batman reveal earlier in the game. It would have been better to explore a Gotham that knows Bruce Wayne as Batman. Like, we got a little bit of that in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but I don't know. I didn't feel the payoff here. It didn't feel like it had a big enough impact, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of just happened, and then, you know, if you're playing the post game, you're flying around and the criminals are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it was Bruce Wayne the whole time. Like, that's really it, you know? There's not a lot else going on. So yeah, even though the game has a really terrible, messy, all over the place story, the gameplay is just at its best. And when I was coming up with this list, deciding where to place things, I was really mostly thinking about replayability, fun factor, like those were the biggest things for me. And it just so happens that whenever I sit down to play an Arkham game, I usually boot up Arkham Knight because it's just the most fun to play. So it's at number 1. Besides Suicide Squad, there isn't really a bad Arkham game. It's one of the most consistent franchises in gaming history. This ranking was purely just about which one I enjoy sitting down and replaying the most. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and drop in the comments down below your favorite Arkham game. Let's talk about it. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.